Welcome to Solar Study course. In last lecture, we learned about the basics of solar energy and how solar cell has been formed and basics of some radiation and some greenhouse effect. That and all we seen in the lecture 1. In lecture 2, we will know about the what is electromagnetic spectrum and sunlight characteristics. That and all we will cover in the lecture 2. Myself Karthikeyan. Welcome to lecture 2. The lecture outliner. First basically we will go for the electromagnetic spectrum. Next one, characteristics of the solar energy. What can be characteristics like spectral content of the solar energy? What is the incident angle of the solar radiation? And what will emit, like what is the radiant energy? That and all we will see in the lecture 2. Now, what is the electromagnetic spectrum? See, generally light is a form of the electromagnetic radiation. In this image, you can see that it is the electromagnetic spectrum. And in the electromagnetic spectrum, there are so many different waves, like extremely low frequency to extremely very high frequency radiation. Like from the extremely low frequency, we can call it as a that frequency may be in the several hertz, kilohertz. That will be used for the radio wave and other amplitude modulation technique, cell phones. Then later we will use for the microwave techniques. Then infrared after that will used in the remote content. Then it will comes to the visible spectrum. That is what we generally see in the our bare eye. That is called visible spectrum. Then later in the electromagnetic spectrum there may be ultraviolet, X-ray and gamma rays are coming. But we have to specifically know about the visible spectrum because whatever energy is coming from the solar radiation, that is the visible in nature. So for solar energy we require visible radiation. The wavelength of the visible light is the 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. It is the one of the subset in the electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum describes light as a wave which has a particular wavelength. But also we heard about the physics, light is a wave as well as a particle. How? See, because of physical description, the properties of sunlight required quantum mechanical analysis. Due to quantum theory, light is a packet of energy that is called as a photon. As we know that frequency is described in the electromagnetic wave. Okay, so as frequency increases, the wavelength, that is nothing but lambda, that will decreases. So what we can call frequency is inversely proportional to the wavelength of the any radiation. So you have seen in the electromagnetic spectrum, it is started from the lower frequency, that is from radio waves, to higher frequency, that is called maximum gamma rays. In between our visible light will come. This wavelength is 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. Now simply we will call it as a F is inversely proportional to lambda. So we know that light is a particle. So due to quantum mechanical things, light can be derived as a packet of energy that is so called as a photon. So Then what scientist has derived? The photon is nothing but a packet of energy. It can be expressed as a h into c. Why? The Planck has derived some equation, the famous scientist Planck. So due to his derivation, h is called as a Planck's constant and c is a velocity of light. So now what we can do, we will derive the new expression that is called F is equal to 1 over lambda with some constant that can be derived. So later we will see how energy will affect my frequency and wavelength. Frequency and wavelength. So now we will see the some characteristics of the sunlight. Why we need to know about the characteristics? Because incident solar energy which are critical to determine the incident sunlight. So how that sunlight is interacted with the photovoltaic cell and how it will convert, that and all we have to know. So some characteristics are the spectral content of the incident light. What are the content in the incident light? That we have to know. And how much radiated power density, how much irradiation will be incident on the solar panel. That is the another thing. Next, another thing are the incident angle. At what angle solar radiation strikes on the photovoltaic module, that we have to know. And then if we want to install any plant, we have to know about the solar irradiation data, like throughout the year how we can see the solar radiation is coming to earth surface with a particular area, how much solar generation can be achieved, that and all the basic characteristics of the solar sunlight. Next, as we know about the light is nothing but a packet of energy that is called as a photon. How? That is due to quantum mechanical effect. And I already told that frequency is inversely proportional to the wavelength. So light is incident with some frequency with some wavelength. So packet of light can be a source of energy. So then what we can do? We can call it as a energy is also inversely proportional to the wavelength. As I already told that there will be some constant. Frequency is inversely proportional to the lambda, then some constant. Then what we can derive a equation, that we will see now. How we can derive this E is equal to hc by lambda using frequency and wavelength. So we know that frequency is inversely proportional to lambda. If solar is radiating energy or sunlight, then what we will call frequency with some constant into 1 by lambda. So can I call it like that? Yes. What is this constant? That may be a velocity of light or anything, velocity of any radiation. So in this case we have to go for the solar radiation. What we will do? I will modify k to c by lambda, right? Yes. So now this is the new equation. If any radiation is coming, particularly for the solar sunlight, F can be write it as a C by lambda. Now this is one single radiation. This is for one single radiation. Okay, if more number of sunlight rays are coming, then it will be bunch of solar rays. That we have to see about the packet of photons. Then what we have to know, for packet of photons we call it as a energy. Packet of photons having some certain energy. That is a pack of energy content. How I can derive? Energy is nothing but some constant. I will tell you later why constant, and it is the one of the product of a frequency, right? Yeah. So then again what I can derive, E is equal to some constant into frequency, because while incidenting it containing the frequency. Then how I can write it as this one, K into C by lambda, right? Because F is nothing but C by lambda. Then due to this derived from the Planck's constant with some energy band and all, he come up with the some constant that is called H. It is called Planck's constant. Then how we can derive the final expression for the incident solar energy, that is Planck's constant into C divided by lambda. This is the energy equation for solar radiation. Solar radiation. Then what is the H value? H is equal to 6.634 into 10 to the power of minus 34. So as I already told, the H value is the 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joules per second. Then c is the velocity of light, 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So by multiplying h and c, we will get value 1.99 into 10 to the power of minus 25 joule meter. So by considering the high energy photon, why high energy means it is containing the high frequency. So blue light is containing the high frequency, but wavelength is very less. Why wavelength is very less? Because frequency is inversely proportional to the wavelength. And this one we just demonstrating how we can see the high frequency photon and low frequency photon. See, this blue line indicate the high energy. You can see the waveform. This is high frequency. For low energy photon, the waveform is the with some gap. That is gap is called wavelength. This gap is called wavelength. If higher the frequency, that gap will be shrinks. Let's consider one of the basic frequency thing. I will draw the one frequency waveform. From this to this is one cycle. Okay, and this is the second cycle. Then what is the distance between this one? That is called lambda, wavelength. If we go for the high frequency, see how this wavelength will be decreased. Now you can see wavelength is very shorter. This is high frequency signal. If I go for the low frequency, see this is the low frequency, the wavelength is be larger. Okay, so that's why f is inversely proportional to the lambda. As frequency increases, wavelength decreases, right? See, this is the high frequency, wavelength is low. If low frequency, then it is a high. This is f1, f2, f3. This is one duty cycle. Then we now know about the electromagnetic spectrum. Now we will see what are the some little characteristics of that electromagnetic spectrum. See, generally electromagnetic wave contain two phases, that is called electric field and magnetic field. See, suppose this is my frequency signal, this is electrical field, let's consider. Uh, then magnetic field will be like this. Okay, basically electric field and magnetic field 90 degree to each other. This is one of the basic property of the electromagnetic wave. See, in this image, you can see that electric field, this one, and magnetic field, both are perpendicular to each other. And already I told that the distance between this thrust to this one, that is lambda. Now we will go for the next step. How the electrical energy will generate due to this photon, that we will see. See, in this image there will be some energy state. So by incidenting some photon to the electron, that will generate the electrical energy. I will tell you how. First of all, we have to know about that due to it is the packet of photon, we can call it as a energy. Then this the unit of energy, that can be a joule. Basically energy is in terms of joule only. Due to presence of the electron, we can call it as a energy of the solar radiation in the form of electronic volt. How? An electron volt is the energy required to raise electron to 1 volt. It required photon energy is 1.62 into 10 to the power of minus 19, or it can be 1.6, we can call it as a 1.6 also. How? I will tell you. So here one electron will be there. If it want to go 1 volt, let's see, I want to get 1 volt electrical energy. For that thing I required some amount of photon. When it incident on the electron, it will generate the 1 volt. So that amount of energy is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. So we can call it as E is in electron volt, because it required 1 volt to get 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. So now we will see, I already told you that hc is the Planck's constant into velocity of light. By multiplying these two, I will get 1.99 into 10 to the power of minus 25 joules. So if I put E in hc by lambda equation, and also I used one electron volt method, Then by putting this value Hc and this Hc value and 1 electron volt, 1 divided by how electron volt, 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 to convert into electron volt and lambda. Then I will get the E value, energy, nothing but 1.24 divided by lambda into 10 to the power of minus 6. Then how I can write it as 1.24 divided by lambda in micrometers. This is for simplification. This is for any wavelength of light. Okay. Now we will see how electron will generate the electricity. Let's consider energy state. This is E1, lower energy state. This is E high, higher energy state. So what basically, due to presence of electrons already in the cell or anything, due to some room temperature, let's consider room temperature T. While incidenting on this one, it goes to higher energy state. Okay, I already told that the photon will incident for getting 1 volt. Same thing if we get 1 volt due to room temperature, it will jump and it goes to this higher energy state. Then what will happen? It will stay here for few time around let's say 10 to the power of minus 7 second. And this thing happen for a while. Then what happen when actual radiation will be incidenting, the more number of electrons will go from lower energy state to higher energy state. Then what it will do, it will do some recombination work, then it is jump to some another intermediate state, that is called a metastable state. Here it will stay for long time, around 10 to the power of minus 3 second. Okay, here all the recombination will takes place and most of the electrons will come here, and after the finishing of 10 to the power of minus 3 second, it comes to lower energy state. While coming from lower higher energy to lower energy state, it will emit some radiation. Okay, that is in the form of Hc by lambda. So what we'll get this time? Electrical energy. Same, how much power is incident, same it will come from here. So how here we will get electrical energy, current in the form of current or voltage. So due to so many incident light incidenting on the electron, it produces the electrical energy. So you can see the image. As photon will be incident, it will goes to higher energy state. Then it will come from the higher energy state to lower energy. At that time it will emit some energy. That is form of electrical format. There are so many things to achieve this kind of thing. There may be like 2 photon autofluorescence and coherent anti-Stokes and all. So next lecture we will learn about the what is photon flux in detail, what is the derivation of the photon flux and some characteristics, and what is the incident angle. That and all we will see in the lecture 3. Thank you.